Hi everyone, it's Deba-Do. Thank you for joining me. Today's card will be dedicated to June's Alzheimer Awareness campaign, and the color is purple for Alzheimer's. And so I am basing my card on this ribbon that I found at Hobby Lobby, and it just so happens that I have stamps from Martha Stewart that match the ribbon, and so I'll be using those as well. I also have this stamp from Stampendous. It's a block stamp, but I wanted to use it in my MISTI, so I pulled it off of the block, and so I can use it in the MISTI so that I can make sure I get a good coverage of ink. And for the MISTI, you take out this black foam so that you can put your rubber stamp down in there. I'll also be using this stamp from Impression Obsession, Thinking of You. And the inks I'll be using are from Ranger, which is their Black Tie Black, Grape Soda, and Electric Lime. I'm also going to use a little Versamark to heat and emboss the sentiment. And the last ink I'll be using is Pumice Stone from Tim Holtz Distress Inks. I'm also going to be using some Copic markers, and you can see the color codes there. 2 purples and a green. And of course some Scotch 3D mounting tape. So let's get started. So I'm using my MISTI, as I said, to stamp the large flower image onto this card front base. The card front base measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then the card base measures 4 1/2 by 5 1/2. So I've stamped the larger flower image using Memento ink because I'm going to do the, like I said, the Copic marker coloring, and so I don't want the ink to smudge. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and ink some of these flowers onto the paper, and I'll leave you with some music. I should try that. I don't think so. So I'm coloring my flower using my Copic markers, and I have a light purple and a darker purple. However, I don't have a medium tone purple for this project. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, is I'm taking the tip of the lighter marker and touching it to the darker marker, and that creates a medium tone purple. that I can use to create a low light to the flower to give it some dimension, some depth. And touching the tips of the markers, it doesn't hurt the markers at all. Alright, so we have our flower all colored in and our background is dry and complete. So I'm taking a piece of that ribbon, the inspiration ribbon, and I'm cutting a pennant or a fishtail into it by folding it in half and cutting on an angle. And I'll just use some double-sided tape to adhere it to the card. So in the interest of time, I made the sentiment prior to recording. But what I did was I took some Versamark ink and stamped the image onto this purple cardstock, and then I sprinkled it with white embossing powder and heat set it. And so now I'm going to use some Scotch mounting tape to adhere it to the card. So to give the card some dimension, I'm using some more Scotch adhesive to adhere the card front to the base. Well, that pretty much finishes our card for this week. Thank you so much for joining me as I created these ribbon-inspired Alzheimer awareness cards in the color purple. These cards will be going off to several friends of mine who I know have parents that are suffering from Alzheimer's. I just want them to know that I am thinking of them and that they are in my prayers. So take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.